Through the years, the United States has mistreated and dehumanized immigrants, whether it be through the Immigration Act of March 4, 1929, which was the first law to criminalize unlawful entry into the U.S., or the Geary Act of 1892, which required every Chinese laborer in the U.S. to prove legal status and secure certificates of residency. Moreover, it is legislation like this that perpetuates xenophobia and reinforces negative stigma surrounding people of illegal status, and has established the foundation for modern-day deportation. The United States is a land built on immigrants, yet 2 million deportations have taken place since President Obama took office. After the Civil War, when blacks were supposed to be deemed free, the perception of them did not change, and in the 1920s, the KKK skyrocketed and lynching constantly occurred. Lynching was a horrific public celebration announced ahead of the act and was a festival of brutality where people were known to take photos of the individuals being lynched and sell them. Police brutality. The use of excess force used by police officers when dealing with civilians. The majority of individuals targeted by law enforcement are those of lower social groups such as Latinos and African Americans. Types of excess forces include physical, verbal, sexual, and psychological intimidation. People of color have a high rate of being detained and being attacked by a police officer. Individuals of minority racial groups are more likely to be targeted by law officials. Thus, the picture is meant to portray a racial group that may be socially valued higher than others, and therefore is viewed as a smaller target. At least 2 people a day are reported killed by police brutality.
Parents are from Nigeria, and so I identify with like Igbo culture as well as African American culture too. But for this purpose, I'm going to focus on Igbo culture and well, there's this expectation that African people as a whole are kind of like savages, barbarians, we live in the jungle and all that stuff, and that obviously isn't true. But then there's also the idea that African people need this kind of white savior to come in and feed the children and to save us all. And I feel like all of these things that we're discussing kind of tie into the idea of Orientalism that we've all talked about in our classes, how stereotypes of the other are constructed and placed upon us. So yeah.
I feel like mass incarceration is a good way to deal with criminals.
No, I think there's a better way to effectively deal with criminalization, especially when, of course, like drug war and whatnot. I believe that you have a much more efficient way of dealing with that law system in terms of treating with drug offenders and whatnot. Other than that, I think incarceration shouldn't necessarily be the first step to a lot of misdemeanors and other like lower breaking of laws and other, like, community service and being put on house arrest or things like similar to that.